get it.
Okay, feeling a little bit more even, Papa Smithy. Everyone getting behind their team. Some more desperation on the side of X6, though, as they need to win this to bring us to the deciding map. Whichever one that is out of the hybrids, it won't be Kings Row, as EnVyUs have already found a victory on that one the first time around.
And we'll talk about all the possible permutations about choice in that regard later. Right now, we will evaluate the defense from EnVyUs.
Ooh, as it is going to be, once again, the Lucio-less composition.
Harry Hook on the Zenyatta, but Chips on his famous Ana, so not as much Sombra from Chips today as Taimu stole that away. What a meanie.
Ha!
I guess it's a Sombra main.
Well, Chips has, I mean, he played it on Temple of Anubis for a bit, and he did look very good. So they've been sharing. There's been a lot of sharing in the end.
When you see a Lucio-less comp, it's very much about defending one position. You don't have the same ability to dart around, and your tanks especially are going to be more exposed now. Winston and D.Va already have a lot of mobility, so they do free up something like a Lucio-less comp, as Effect will just stare at the beach and think about life a bit.
And No Smite has the best. I feel like Junkrat
No Smite's
is...
on
What
Junkrat.
the heck? Okay, never mind. We're going for the attack Junkrat.
Yeah. This is really good at static defenses, which when you don't see a Lucio, Junkrat can be very strong. So another curveball, not one I was expecting for today.
Did they seriously snipe that composition that quickly, Papa Smithy? Or had they done their homework just that well on the side of X6? Mickey's going to get the first kill, though, onto Gilly. Maybe they've tried a little bit too hard with the fanciness, but No Smite says no as Mickey loses the mech. And now X6 are fighting back on the attack.
You have to be so careful here when you're against a Junkrat. The spam and the zone control he pulls off can be massive. And we're not in the meta with Zarya being able to just bubble up and get full charge from the Junkrat. You're never going to be opening with a Zarya on defense on this map anymore. And they're getting significant meterage and forcing EnVyUs to react as we have a pause.
EnVyUs are like, who even is that hero?
I mean, Taimu loves playing it in solo queue.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, may have just assumed that it was banned and competitive because we haven't seen it for so long, Papa Smithy.
Somewhere, some of our famous Junkrat enthusiasts like Seagull are smiling.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited because, of course, Australian pride here on the desk and now on Dorado as well.
We don't have the double, though. We need the Roadhog Junkrat attack for, I don't know what your team comp's doing, but it's got a lot of Aussies in it.
Yeah, it feels like Mad Max.
2 Aussies on the desk, 2 Aussies in the game. That should be how it works,
That should be how it works, exactly. In fact, everyone should be running Junkrat Roadhog. Just let them know. There are 2 Australians on the desk, guys. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, Pause going to be running down again.
No Smite, who we have the perspective of. Doesn't have ult first, because Chips already has it. Pops the Nano.
Yeah, Effect is going to be able to grab the pick onto Bebe as well. Time Boy picks off Harry Hook, so they trade Zenyatta's.
Here's the Riptire. Doesn't get anything.
A little bit unfortunate. It was exciting, though, wasn't it, Papa Smithy?
You can't help but get pumped. We don't get any Junkrat in Apex.
Oh, damn right.
Or anywhere. Spam so far is still good. He's managed to zone them away. It was only a couple left from Envy after the first kills, and now EnVyUs are just, they feel like they want a tactical pause right now to be like, wait, how do we deal with Junkrat?
Yeah, exactly.
He went to contest the high ground, but had to drop down to No Smite. Chips will get a lot of nano boost this game because just like Zarya shield, there's a lot of junk damage, I guess you call it, or just useless damage is perhaps the better thing to say that comes through. So healers get their ult very fast when Junkrat's in the game.
Taimu controlling this high ground nicely, has himself the tack visor. Godspeed's going to pick off Effect. So
X6 do not have a comp to contest the high ground. They can only really shoot damage up there, or No Smite can pop up and potentially die instantly with 200 HP. So it's a lot about just firing damage up top and waiting for the side of Envy to drop down, because X6 are very much a cart defense system, not a high ground defense system. Unless...
Oh, not going to quite find the stick there as Transcendence does come out. X6 do have the sound barrier, but Gilly's taken out with the tack visor from Taimu. It runs out in the end as X6 invest the Transcendence there as well, just to hold on to this cart.
Somehow, Reinhardt was actually on the high ground. He drops down again.
Okay, interesting one. Godspeed, though, is going to get the headshots that he needs onto Taimu.
D.Va does contest the cart for a bit, so it won't be approaching the corner as early as it could have. One final defense is going to be possible for Team EnVyUs. Riptire available. Gonna be used again.
Havoc, yeah, throws
Gonna
it
do
out.
some climbing.
Oh, Harry Hook gonna be taken down as he boosts himself up here as well. Taimu has to run away, but Gosby picks up attack visor kill. Shoyobin there as well on this Reinhardt, tearing people up, and Timeboy, this is looking insane from X6. I don't know how this is working.
They're 4 minutes 50 going into the power plant. Don't even need to contest the high ground with all the spam. The spam from the left clicks doing the work for them, trying to chase down Mickey. No one's tanky against Junkrat.
And No Smite we need to change this text, Papa Smithy.
I mean, EnVyUs are trying everything. They have Harry Hook finally onto Lucio for the first time, but it is already on point C. As the time bank is insanely large for X6.
Yeah, power plant, difficult one to push through as they're just going to casually wander away from that pulse bomb.
Who knew that No Smite, who played 97% of his time, that's a big Earth Shatter.
Yeah, massive. Pulse bomb's going to take down Chips there as well as Taimu. He's going to fall. No Smite actually grabs him with the remote bomb. Cherubin doesn't find the pin onto anyone. It doesn't seem to matter though, as X6 in so much control this particular map. It looks like Game 5 is well and truly in their sights.
We're already rounding the final bend. This Winston main flexing onto the Junkrats, doing all the work.
And Cherubin, the Diva main on this Reinhardt, is looking brilliant as well. This might just continuing to deliver what he can. EnVyUs finally grabbing a couple of kills as Riptire does nothing. EnVyUs. Okay, so the cart stops moving, Papa Smithy. X6 still have 3.5 minutes.
And they can also mix it up. You're not going to stick with the Junkrat when the cart is so far forward. They would basically need Reinhardt to inch him forward, and then the dive from the defense would find them in so many different ways. But we just kind of have to take a step back and smile about triple DPS, a player that was 97% Winston, jumping onto the attack Junkrat. And as you say, Choyobin, who's been Diva only for the majority of his career, jumping onto the Reinhardt, making so much work happen, and now they can just go standard.
Yeah, now they're going to get the first pick as well as Bebe grabs Harry Hook. It's a huge deal as they throw down their sound barrier. Attack visor there as well as X6 have a bunch of ultimates that they can use. 3 picks already, make that 4 as the cart continues to move forward. Sound barrier from EnVyUs, but Harry Hook, he's the only man standing. That's the team wipe, and that's going to be the full push from X6.
One of the most innovative offensive rounds we have seen in so long in Apex. On defense, we get the crazy. You think back to Luxury Watch Blue, whether it was their Body Shot, Widowmaker comp, or their triple support comp, but a flex that no one could have seen coming. The sort of thing where Winston's lab gives you no research information because No Smite jumping onto the Junkrat on offense got them point A and point B on first attempt, and he finally died for the first time just, 10 meters away from the end, jumped onto Winston. The comp was prepared for a lot of things, but not for the super standard that X6 turned over. And now suddenly EnVyUs, who probably were thinking, okay, we got over our hump, 3-1. 3-1's looking a long way away, Atlas.
Yeah, 3-2's looking like it's almost what you hope for this time, because that's a huge time bank in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. EnVyUs certainly an opportunity to push like that as well, but will they do it with an innovative composition once again? I'm not entirely sure. It's looking like triple tank on the defense for X6 though.
Seen it before. Was always the standard defense on Dorado point A.
Means that they at least still have one Australian.
That's true. We never got the duo, but we'll take the one.
Yep.
Usually the way this plays is that unlike EnVyUs, who are playing up at the position where you see, trying to fight because they had no Lucio to reposition. You usually fight after the archway as triple tank, so you give a bit more free meterage to the attacking team before your triple tank can really have the right angles to take advantage of the position. But now they'll poke around, but they will drop back, put up a Reinhardt shield, and try and make it work.
Make a stand, as it were.
Well, they made a stand. They made an impression, at least, that's for sure,
oh, well,
on
yes.
attack.
Now it's about the defensive game and whether X6 can put a plug in EnVyUs' momentum.
Now, dive was always the thing that undid triple tank, but EnVyUs, if you know one thing about them, is that they never fully commit to dive, so that's why X6 feel like against this opponent, triple tank can possibly be the way.
Well, it is going to be triple tank versus triple tank as EnVyUs. They move over to a Roadhog at their own. Taimu, he's going to pick that one up. Not going to be on the McCree like Godsby is.
In the past, Taimu spent 50% of Season 2 on Roadhog, but big adjustment this season was Roadhog largely dropping out, especially for EnVyUs. Here's the hook.
Yeah, it is going to be onto Coco though, so he's probably okay with being in the front line. as Timeboy's going to grab himself a drink and continue to throw these shotgun pellets right in, but maybe it's pushed far enough here from EnVyUs to break through. They've traded at least a mech in, but Timus grabs a kill. Effect gets a pulse bomb down so early in this fight. Godsby sort of getting things off the back end, but Effect is going to bully him out of there.
In much more simple fashion, we're going to see the last second test to buy a second.
It was close, but no cigar.
Now, we could definitely see a very interesting second round of attack phases on Dorado. Would the double capture dream happen? It's like a double rainbow. We never see them, but the one time you do, you don't forget it, Atlas.
Oh, yeah. I just want X6 to go on attack on Dorado again. I just want to see what else they have planned for us.
Some Hanzo, maybe?
Yeah, is it the attack Torbjorn? Like, I don't know.
Torbjorn, Reinhardt, and Orisa just park the turret on the cart. Double shield, see what happens.
I just love how at the beginning I brought up, Junkrat, the perfect one to be the troll pick.
And he wasn't trolling. He was going.
He was definitely not trolling.
The backline. Aimu mixing around as Chips has been caught, Mickey as well.
Well, they've invested the sound barrier and it's actually paying off for them as well. Half the members of EnVyUs have fallen. Chips, before he could even use his Transcendence, fell down. This could spell success for X6 on the defense.
When you dive like this, it kind of forces EnVyUs to reevaluate. They may even feel pressured enough to change over to Reinhardt to get back to the cart, but it's so close to the spawn doors that for now, they won't do that as Effect wants to get in the back line and sniper support.
Well, Transcendence is going to be able to get them onto the cart here as well, as they have all the rest of the ults. Whole hog going down from Taimu, as well as Mickey throws out the self-destruct looking for a target. Timeboy's in the back though. He's managed to take down Effect with a really nice stick on the pulse bomb, and Harry Hook booped Gilly off. Timeboy trades his life, and we've got kills traded left, right, and center. X6 holding on to ultimates nicely though. Yeah,
it's a big trade up for X6. They got the first couple of picks, and even though there was some answering, there's another case where Transcendence was used very early just to contest the cart. It timed out, and there were really no tools left for Team EnVyUs. So the delay has already happened. It was, what, 5:30, 5:40 as we got through point A, and now we've shaved 2 minutes off it with two good contests from X6. At some point, you do have to start giving some meterage, though, otherwise you will be preyed upon.
They just don't have the grenade launcher high ground harass, Papa Smithy. That's what they don't have.
You have Effect, though.
Yeah, he's not going to find the pulse bomb kill, but he at least gets everyone off here as Transcendence has to be invested from X6. Coco's picked up the kill under No Smite as well, but Chips has died. So what can they do? Godsby's here with attack visor. That's going to be 2 already. Make that 3 as Harry Hook eventually gets rid of him. But Gilly's going to get rid of Coco. Taimu falls down to Timeboy. And X6 once again, I mean, this is 3 holds in a row.
But EnVyUs really aren't giving Taimu much to work with. Usually when you have something like a McCree change and you need a Roadhog as well. As I'm just saying that point, Effect wins the Tracer battle very triumphantly, but Taimu wasn't getting any support on the McCree and was getting crushed and closed down upon, so he jumps over to the Soldier.
Oh, baby. In trouble, but Effect does recall his way back. Self-destruct is in there, and that's going to pick up Chips. Taimu actually jumped to his own death, unfortunately.
Free shooting.
Yeah.
No one's contesting the high ground, Atlas, like you were mentioning. They don't have a Roadhog to do it. They don't have a Genji to do it. So for now, just shooting gallery for Godsby.
It was a well-played self-destruct, actually. It meant that Effect either had to commit to getting round that corner onto the high ground against multiple opponents or die to a self-destruct.
Time is so far away from the tack visor. Switched to McCree, didn't really have a team comp for it. Now is on the Soldier that fits the comp more. It's going to take time and eco pushes that. Time isn't really what EnVyUs has too much of. Effect.
That's going to be the pulse bomb. Picks up BB. He finally finds the Zenyatta and drops down for the kill onto Godsby. Effect taking this game into his own hands once again, like he's done so many times. Primal Rage.
Fine time.
Yeah, from No Smite just to try and get people off this point. But Mickey, he's sitting himself on the cart. Defense Matrix is there as Timeboy has to be careful, but recalls his way back.
Even though this is a fight that will go the way of EnVyUs, the cart still has not moved, and that means the respawn is starting to come in.
Yep, self-destruct now from Mickey, how he jumps back into his mech.
But they have to use the self-destruct. They waste a lot of time. The respawns do come through from X6. Almost catch Effect also. It does mean they will have a wholehearted contest before the end of point B because of all the time bought by the divers.
Yeah, double support ult plus the tack visor is a fantastic ult combo as well. Feeling good, RX6 on this last remaining.
We've seen some highlight plays from Effect so many times with the Pulse Bomb. This is going to have to be one of them, but with the Transcendence up, it's so damn hard.
Mickey's going to jump in. The Pulse Bomb is still in hand. Chips actually finds No Smite. This is important. Godsby throws down the Tac Visor, but that's the Transcendence from EnVyUs, keeping his members alive. Godsby throws out a Helix Rocket and gets a kill on Timeboy as well. That is both supports dead. There's now Effect is going to come in, try and see what he can do. X6 members are dropping left, right, and center as Effect looks for the backhand kill. Doesn't quite get it, but Timeboy eventually falls down. There goes the mech from Choyobin.
Contesting the cart, but that's all they're really doing here. The respawn and walk back is too far, hoping that the EnVyUs will use as much resources as possible. Some respawns do come in, but again, it's very smart to drop back here. They probably will have to give up point B.
Yeah, and the pseudo triple DPS on this push as well as Chips is going to move over to the Sombra.
They're actually still contesting. Good job by Timeboy.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb comes in actually to buy some space to get the staggered run-throughs as Gilly's going to fall down, but Godsby grabs Effect. This could be important as the Primal Rage is there. We do have the EMP coming in from Chips. Try and get some work done, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be enough as X6 have at least bought enough time to get themselves some solidification. And No Smite is smacking everyone around. Sound Barrier is able to be bought time for as well from Gilly.
The hack doesn't actually stop the ultimate from coming through. His Attack Visor was popped by Godsby. Taken out though, 3 picks, the final ones here. And take out the Diva and the Lucia to finally claim point B.
Yeah, we've got absolutely no space left to go as Timeboy, he recalls his way back onto the point. Effect grabs Gilly though, and makes it a double with the kill onto Timeboy, so they should be able to make it over here.
And X6 are so good at contesting just before point B. This is what frustrated RunAway. EnVyUs still do get it, but with a minute 20 in the time, like half of what X6 finished the map on, they get 1 push to do it. Mickey will have the self-destruct. Effect basically has permanent Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, that's just what he does. Recall comes in, doesn't find anyone with the Pulse Bomb.
And misses on that one. So we get to breathe for just a half a second, but we know the action's about to come in. Here's the leap in from No Smite.
And Timeboy gets himself into the backline as well, trying to get some damage onto that mech.
Maybe dies with Transcendence up.
Yeah, Effect is able to get that kill nicely, but Timeboy is still here. He's got the Pulse Bomb ready. Tac Visor's available from Taimu as well, but X6 have a lot of ults available. Self-destruct comes down. Not sure whether it's going to be enough, though, as this is a lot of kills for EnVyUs to get this cart moving.
And now they have to really escort the cart and try to spawn camp. It's still going to be 6 members alive from X6 with ultimates. Bebe dying with his ult. May have wanted to hold on to it anyway for the last second contest, but this is that time, and watch for Chips' EMP.
Yeah, we're
looking for as many as possible. There it is. Yep. Transcendence was used early, though, so it is available.
Yep, throws that one out and isn't going to get cancelled, so Effect, he's able to pick up the first kill onto Godsby. That was nicely timed after the Transcendence, and X6 throws down the Sound Barrier. BB going low, he's going to get taken out, and EnVyUs looking to try and push this one up.
Winston's dead.
We are so close to overtime.
Both frontliners dead on the side of EnVyUs.
X6 still trying to do what they can, and they are picking up the kills now. Taimu and Effect both dead.
And
Chips as well. No DPS up as Godsby. There's the Tac Visor just to put the last nails in the coffin, and X6 looking to hold on and bring us to a game number 5.
We're going to map 5, Atlas. So much stall tactics that was successful for the side of X6, and innovation again is rewarded. Opening the Junkrat on attack from their Winston main. Completely caught EnVyUs by surprise. Basically instantly took point A and point B, and then there's the nature of time banks works when you're so good at contesting against RunAway and now against EnVyUs, managing to take away 5.5 minutes. In this case, I think it's 550 time banks on point B, and that was so powerful in the delay factor. And suddenly, we're 1 hybrid map away from deciding who goes to the winner's bracket and who has to fight all the way through the loser's bracket.
Yeah, and it's so many more games as well. I mean, each time you lose, you still have to get those 2 victories. We are going to have the tac pause on the side of EnVyUs, though.
Mickey's still smiling.
Mickey's always smiling.
It's good to have someone like that on your team, but this is not a position that EnVyUs could have expected to find themselves. Remember, during the group draw, there was a double swap, and finally Taimu inherited pick one. He was so happy, he fell over himself going for X6N. This was always the plan. We beat them in scrims. They're a team that we're going to comfortably take down. In the interview today, he said 3-0. The comfort factor's gone.
Oh, yeah.
I was alluding to the sweat. The sweat is really coming down now, irregardless of any sort of air conditioning. Is EnVyUs have been kind of outmaneuvered. Some of these comps, the innovation has been the things that's really undone them, whether it was the Arisa comp or in this most recent time, the Junkrat comp. Those have been the times when EnVyUs haven't been able to adapt. So they may be forced to adapt one more time. But the first question is where to go on hybrid for them. Because as you say, King's Row is gone. So you have to start wondering where they'll visit, because there's a lot of other possibilities for them.
And when you're talking about can you adapt and things like that, I feel like you don't want to go anywhere near Hollywood if you're EnVyUs, because it has been one of those maps where adaptation is rewarded so effectively.
But you've kind of got a double-edged sword there, Atlas, because they're 2-0 on Hollywood this season. So that's been their comfort map. But is your comfort what you want, or is it actually what you're seeing unfold in front of your eyes? Because triple support was birthed on this map as we get to watch a bit of Junkrat as we continue to wax lyrical about the right choice. The moment you don't have Lucio to evacuate in that situation, the moment you have a static defense against the Junkrat is, well, the ults one is exciting as I hoped they would be, but we're showing them anyway, rip tires.
Yeah.
But he didn't die. He didn't die on point A or point B. Was alive on the cart, contesting, doing all the things Junkrat can do so well, but his only death happened 5 meters before the end, and that's why you have to say so much respect to No Smite.
Yeah, No Smite just looking good. I'm just baffled by the fact that he was like flexing. I mean, he's been on Winston this entire season.
97%.
Yeah, just...
And that 3% was not Junkrat, let me tell you.
That was Reinhardt. So it's like, not Zarya or Diva or anything like that.
Literally, you look at your
sheet,
you look at Winston's lab, and you're like, okay, well, 3% he's on another tank. You look at Choyubin, you're like, I'm surprised he's not 100%. He's known as a 100% Diva player.
Yeah.
They do a double flex, and suddenly, very difficult decision is left at the door of EnVyUs. I think they will choose Hollywood, but you were talking about innovation. Hollywood has birthed a lot, specifically the defense of triple support was birthed by Luxury Watch Blue on that map and used by Lunatic-Hai and other members.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that the Torbjorn composition with Arisa is one that has been very
on
successful
Eichenwald
on
as well.
defense. Yeah, on Eichenwald at the same time, but I mean, having Arisa with a lot more barriers to throw down in front of turrets could be an opportunity here.
Both sides have gone for comfort and overall win rate. So I think Hollywood will probably be the selection from the side of EnVyUs, but I could also really get behind another curveball in a series that has given us so much. We saw the patch notes and we're like, well, it's not the big Reaper change. Probably not going to be a big deal. The madness has started already. The madhouse is certainly open. We're in that asylum, and we just want to know where it's going to end.
Yep, this is my favorite asylum to be in. The Game 5 asylum as well, as EnVyUs, they want to be in that upper bracket. They want to get the extended break. And let's see which hybrid map we're going to be going to, and it's going to be Hollywood, just like we predicted. It's a good win rate, but I still feel like there might be danger.
Huge defense first advantage, 75% defenders advantage on this map compared to King's Row, which has always been 49-51 at best. Really excited to see where we're going. I feel like I'm being just too greedy asking for more innovation, but
yeah, I know.
X6 have clearly been hiding strats or bringing back stuff from very deep in their war chest, because they have had so much new stuff today, and most of the new has gone gold.
Yep. And look, maybe this is where the hype came from for X6. Maybe they were just slowly moving forward. As soon as it was all on the line, that's where we'd see it. And now it is all on the line. Game 5 between EnVyUs and X6. Final map.
Get it.
Always been struck by how much support there is for X6. If you think back to Super Week Atlas, they had the most support of any of the Challenger teams by a lot. That was, of course, their LAN debut since Challengers has played online. The fans got to see them for the first time. Well, they've had a season to do so, but a season only represents 3 best-of-5s. Remember, this is only their 4th best-of-5 they've played, such as the format here in Korea. So we'll have a look at the defense. We talked about that defender's advantage. So far, it has been pretty significant. EnVyUs on defense to start things up as, well, if you're putting a Torbjorn turret that advanced, maybe you are actually playing Torbjorn, Mickey.
I actually really love it, because we see a lot of turrets being put down very, very forward just to build that molten core a little bit quicker. May as well fully invest into the forward turret placement.
They're also a team that runs Reinhardt the most of really any team here in Korea. They're 42% for Reinhardt in a meta where Winston can go as high as 99% in a lot of situations. And Nox, for example, on Rogue was criticized for not jumping on Reinhardt ever. Reinhardt has a lot of synergy with the second Torbjorn turret because the first one was just a scouting one.
Yep. See if it actually gets very much at all.
So it's triple DPS and a Torbjorn on the side of EnVyUs.
Is it almost quadra DPS?
It is almost quadra DPS. I'm willing to give it that.
Haha, yes.
Torbjorn and the Sombra stuck in the middle, but when it's someone like Taimo or Rascal, you definitely do think of it as DPS.
Are we going to snap back? I like that turret placement.
Chips is the only healer here. If Timeboy gets him, this map really starts to go south.
They are protecting him the best they can as Godsby. Oh, he's going to get taken out. This is the turret that does the cleanup duty. I like it a lot. Harry Hook standing on the high ground here with his soldier, and they're able to get a whole bunch of these kills. Just so much damage coming out of EnVyUs in this first push, not able to get it done from X6.
Going to need to see some swaps from the side of X6. Something like Afreeca won't really get sight lines for a lot of the Torbjorn turrets, but might be necessary. Only other approach is to go...
Sitting in the garden.
Yeah, that's true. Only other approach is to go very much on eco pushes, which is a possibility, but doesn't necessarily have reliability. Molten Core's already at 77% of the build-up.
Godsby's taking a lot of damage. He just can't seem to find a place to sit still and fire. High ground being well and truly controlled by EnVyUs.
Turret also does scout a lot, so knows the attack formation on the side of X6.
But here is the dive from X6. They get themselves into the house. That turret not exactly getting the work done. Yeah, Timeboy not going to be able to dash around, and Effect is going to be able to utilize that to pick up the kill. BB is going to be one of his other targets as Harry Hook's there as well, doing the work, but you can see it's all about Effect, chasing down these supports, and they will all be falling. Oh, having a field day. Look at the smirk on his face.
It's really cool how they're peeling for both the Torbjorn turret and often the Ana by just having the Sombra patrol around and either hack the Tracer, who's inevitably going to dash in and want to take down that solo healer, or have the EMP ready if they make a full commitment into the building on top of point A.
This is where things get really difficult as well for X6, Papa Smithy, because multiple cores available, exactly. So that is just so hard to get through. They are going to invest it straight away. So EMP comes down, Mech is immediately destroyed, and EnVyUs are able to clean up a couple of kills, but they lose Effect and Timer. That's a lot of DPS, but there are still theoretically 2 available as Harry Hook sitting up here on the high ground. Oh, the Helix Rocket somehow gets BB as he was poking his head back around again.
You feel like X6 probably sees that as a success because they actually drew out Molten Core. So one of the ultimate defensive ults is down. Sombra ult is going to be down for, you'd probably estimate, if you're X6, another 20 seconds. So this is the window, opening with Transcendence and trying to take it before the next EMP is left up. They need to make a hard commit, and they need to make it now.
They have a defensive Earth Shatter. No, they don't, because Coco's going to be taken out to sleep. Onto Timeboy is there, but Godsby's going to get rid of the turret, and X6 should have been able to start this cart moving with a fantastic attack move.
And amazingly, it was the stubbornness of X6 to stick with what they thought would work eventually. They had the ult time, they didn't have to use that many of the ultimates. Only ended up being 2, I believe, invested in the end. The pick onto Coco was massive.
That was heroic from Timeboy.
Yeah, just dropping over. In the end, it was kind of a crying use of the ultimate there from Chips. It ended up being onto Effect, who was actually out-dueled largely by Bebe, who still has Transcendence available on the Zenyatta. Chips this time is going to be the one, so we see some flexes. Taimu onto the Soldier. Chips is going to be on Sombra. That means they're going to be going for a pretty aggressive contest of the cart, I think. Chips is already dead.
From Effect is going to get him 3. Yeah, Godsby's going to take down Chips, so inefficient use of that Translocator, unfortunately, is Harry Hook. He's under fire, takes a lot of damage, but does survive. No, spoke too soon.
I mean, when Chips dies first, they only have Harry Hook for a heal, and everyone is exposed because they don't have much of a defensive line when they've gone for this pseudo-defensive dive on the side of EnVyUs, and they're being cleaned up, and the cart just won't stop.
And look at this, yeah, Primal Rage from Nosmite gets completely rid of Timu.
Someone jammed the accelerator on the cart that was, may not even got off the ground after a really good point A defense, but the street space has been great for X6.
Yeah, I thought Hollywood was in LA. Apparently it's in Germany, man. We're on the Autobahn. We are moving this one forward, but at least the Transcendence is there from Bebe to... No, it is from Bebe. So this is on the attack that they're utilizing it. And it's going to be X6 continuing their onslaught. I thought this might have been EnVyUs' chance to fight back.
Yeah, the perspective there was interesting. Basically, Transcendence was used the moment they sniffed out a Sombra, cancelled anything happening during the course of the EMP, and then they kept pushing because that Transcendence has been held on for so long, looking for that contest that we almost always see at the end of point B. It's not there, and the time bank, which was looking like it would be overtime by point C, is at 3 minutes.
Yep, Nosmite getting himself back towards this card as well as X6 make their way back in attack formation.
A lot of ult economy here for EnVyUs. X6 need to decide before committing to any ultimates. They haven't seen any in a while, so it'd behoove them to be a little bit more conservative.
Oh, baby, Effect taken out before he could get that pulse bomb down. Godsby eventually falls as Timu has the tack visor. Trying to find the targets, but doesn't get any more than that. Mickey taken down very, very low. Needs to get himself a health pack to get back into this fight, but Chips gets rid of Timeboy. This could be an opportunity despite having Harry Hook missing from this battle. Timu's going to get jumped on, though, as Nosmite once again has that Primal Rage, and X6's onslaught on Hollywood is continuing. As soon as it becomes an escort map, Papa Smithy, it just looks good.
Yeah, the Primal Rage,
squad.
The only ultimate used there, bought them the cart, finally pushing further, and now we're going to need to see some great ult usage. He's going to be the first one. It's EMP time.
Yeah, Chips jumps in.
Transcendence gets off again!
Yeah, another time. They get Sound Barrier in the end as well. No, that's EnVyUs that throw that one down. Gilly was taken by Effect, so this could be good news. EnVyUs still trying to get the kills in, but Cherubin's there with the kill under Coco. Finally, EnVyUs getting some kills on the board, and Effect just cleaning up what he can. Cherubin is going to be left for dead, and Timu eventually Helix rockets him because he's feeling angry, I think, Papa Smithy, because this cart has made it a long way for X6. Still 120, so not a massive amount of time left to push this one to the last point.
Not really too many ults apart from attack visor to do it. No Transcendence to buy time either. I have to compliment Bebe, who keeps predicting or having communicated the timing of the EMP and casting it early. And speaking of EMPs,
yeah, he is going to be used, and that's 2 quick picks out for EnVyUs. Timu with the attack visor doesn't actually need to use it either. As the mech falls, Coco grabs the kill into Gilly, and X6 need to try again. It's going to leave Cherubin with the difficult decision of, do I switch back to my mech and give up all of my
He's being
ult
greedy here because he has the ult available, just wants to die or build it up again. EnVyUs are happy to wait, but if they don't kill him, he will have it very soon. Yeah, so you just don't really, I mean, that's the only ult you have to buy space for Godspeed to get value. That's why they do not consider the switch over.
Yeah, he's going to jump back in his mech as well, so holds on to that self-destruct. It's good news, but Timu, bad news for him as Timeboy picks him up. He is going to trade his life, and Godspeed, he's now able to wreak havoc.
Visor's down now. This is just the tracking here as they're taking down Coco as well. Finally, the cart starts to push. Still tools available, and very soon an EMP from Chips.
Only 5 seconds to go, though, before we hit that overtime, as EnVyUs, with the defender's advantage, should have an opportunity to still reform and get themselves back in. Multiple picks are going to be needed from X6, as there's the self-destruct to buy the space. Overtime continues to tick down. Effect is going to be taken, though. Mickey loses his mech. This could be it for X6 as they push forward. Sound barriers down from EnVyUs to get them onto this point, but it's answered by X6, who've only lost Bebe. X6 now picking up the kills that they need to move this cart onto the point. It's in overtime, but it's still looking good.
Here it is. They full push it, and having the 2 supports ended up being the difference. Not having both Transcendence and Sound Barrier meant that when there was the double support ultimate up, they staggered them. They managed to finish the push. The EMP was not enough despite being up. It felt once again on command, and X6, it looked like it was not going to be the full push when they took so long to take down point A. They set a target. They basically say, EnVyUs, if you can get this going, if you can keep it pushing, you probably will win, but you've got to go all the way.
And we've seen the defenses at the end of Hollywood as well last so incredibly long. X6 did a brilliant job making sure that they cleared it all at the same time. The coordination, I mean, we've had some question marks, Mighty OD being the spectacular failed attack at the very end, but certainly wasn't the case for X6.
The amount of times they got Transcendence off a millisecond before EMP would have wrecked them, because obviously a Zenyatta dies instantly to a stiff breeze if he cannot fend for himself with the Discord Orb or Transcendence after being EMP'd. There is that goal state. They are able to finish this with anything in the time bank. They will get at least a minute to push, and thus will have a significant lead. It took X6 a long time. They toiled on point A, but the Streets phase was among the fastest we've seen. It was some speed stuff right there.
Yep, the Autobahn was certainly in effect, even if we're in the wrong country. EnVyUs now thinking about what they want to build as far as composition on attack. We won't know for the moment.
Wonder if Taimu will road test the Hanzo. It's a possibility he goes for it here. We remember it was triple tank on defense. So far was employed once by X6, and guess who's good against triple tank? It's definitely the Hanzo.
Yeah, the ultimate actually pretty useful on some of the points when you're attacking first up, but I think we're looking for a Sonic Arrow to work out what this composition is out of X6.
That will be the swap. Onto the Reaper. Okay, so they're going for the Talon attack from the beginning. Team EnVyUs.
Don't want to waste any time with anything else. Taimu can get himself around here quite sneakily. See whether he's actually been spotted just yet as Chips just going to try and build some ult charge, hacking some of these health packs from around the back.
He really wants to hack the small pack here. He'll get it. That's actually really big. No defense into the house to get that small pack.
Look at how aggressive this is from Taimu as well. Immediately turning up. A lot of damage onto these tanks as he race walks his way back out, but X6 is the one picking up the kills. It's just not enough from Taimu on this Reaper to really get much done. Chips is trying to save it as Effect recalls his way back. He builds up the Pulse Bomb, but really can't stay in here with so many of his teammates still walking back. Pulse Bomb comes in, but it's eaten. Defense Matrix may have had a range a little bit longer than what Effect was expecting there, because that was right on the edge.
Does also allow X6 to get their respawns off. Hacking that pack was probably more than expected from Chips. He hacks the pack on the other side of the approach to point A. They will not be diving the house just yet. EMP is up.
Gets into the house,
Murder house.
Utilizes it. See whether he's actually going to be able to get the kills though, because so far not too much happening. They trade 1 for 1 as Coco grabs Gilly, but Harry Hook's going to fall down as well. Lucioless is everyone as these trades continue. Taimu falling very early once again. He's got a nano boost onto No Smite. Trying to move himself forward, but EnVyUs lose 3 and X6 hold once again.
It's pretty much the same sort of result we saw when X6 was on the pushing phase, but by now they had their ults ready. We're looking at Chips to build up the EMP, and they can go for the combination of EMP and also the Death Blossom, which has been really the cornerstone of this Talon attack.
Yep, very, very close to it is Taimu, despite the fact that he's fallen down pretty quickly.
It's Chips that needs to hurry up on the EMP, but that's usually very possible.
Yep. I feel like 10% on Death Blossom is about the same as Choban is going to lose the mech. This is actually a huge deal as it is going to be the sound barrier coming in, but Choban does get the self-destruct kill onto Coco.
But there's now not as much latitude for there to be Defense Matrix for the inevitable Death Blossom. We're waiting for it.
Yeah, it does come in, but we don't have the EMP just yet. Chips is so close, but he's taken down by BB. Death Blossom comes, well, it's available, but Taimu's life is not. That is even more space bought for X6.
So the fact that he could get remeked and not taken down, was at about 200 health, re-healed up. They need to find a way to take down this Diva and stop her from ruining the day, or have them get the drop specifically with the Sombra. But X6 have been so on point at denying EMPs. It's going to be a difficult one. Chips has to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Atlas.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get there now as No Smite types really far forward. We're going to try and disrupt what EnVyUs is doing, because it's so important for them to be coordinated. And when they lose these key members early on in these battles, they really do just need to get the heck out of there. And Mickey, he's going to lose his life as well. The rest of EnVyUs know that they don't have very long to get this working. In effect, a staggered kill like that That is not what EnVyUs need.
And now there's so many different ways to approach this if you're X6. You can push up, try to get a pick before the approach, and maybe you thwart it. You can also really divide up your threats because you know 100% what is available. At minimum, the Reaper and the Sombra ults. Chips needs to catch 3 in this ult. Even if the D.Va's alive, it ruins all the hopes. There it is.
Yeah, that's going to be the EMP as Effect is able to...
He slapped!
Oh my god, it happened! Timer unable to utilize it. He throws down the Death Blossom late, but he's dead.
Very, very low.
Oh yeah,
least.
very,
He's not
very low.
taken
He
down.
actually went down to 0, but then eventually falls. Overtime has ticked in. Chips is now in the house. Self-destruct comes down. It's going to be no kills available. This Timeboy so close to having that ultimate. Now wants to try and get onto that point and get EnVyUs off it as they're looking to try and tick this one up. It is moving almost up to the second tick. But to push this the whole way with so little time available to them will be so difficult. However, they're still on the point.
Yeah, it looks like they will finally get it at least. It looked like it was thwarted by the Sleep Dart as well. Last second contest.
Yeah, and Troyobin, he gets back onto the point as well, so that's so much more time that they bought. With D.Va able to do so much, the recall comes in. Taimu now building up his Death Blossom once again. EnVyUs do eventually get that push in. 2.5 minutes to make it all the way through the streets. And for EnVyUs' sake, I hope it really is an Autobahn.
It's just surreal that we have another series after this one, Alice. This one has gone and taken so many different twists and turns. The sleep onto the Reaper before Death Blossom looked like it would ruin the day of EnVyUs, but they attacked the point in all the kerfuffle. They were able to claim it just in overtime. And that's all they're looking for. One more claim here is, well, it's a nano-boosted monkey.
Yeah, that is a nano monkey. Gets booped back, but is going to be able to cause a bunch of disruption. Effect recalls, but is tracked actually by Timeboy. Knows that he has that skill advantage right now. Okay, Troyobin takes down Chips. We saw that for a split second as No Smite was eventually dealt with. Troyobin playing with this. And look, honestly, X6, they're utilizing these ultimates because they know they just need to stop this for moments. Exactly. They're trying to stagger as best they can, but EnVyUs, they throw down their sound barrier as well. There's the EMP as X6 have no use of their abilities, and Mickey is able to go ballistic with none of that defense. Godsby has his Dragon Blade now.
Not the time for it, though.
He's on the Genji. Yes, he's certainly on the retreat. Coco's doing what he can to get rid of him.
That does mean the cart will continue to push, and for now, Godsby's very out of position. Found a big pack, and eventually will regroup with the team, but it's going to be another one of these final fights as Taimu's looking for a sneaky spot for the Death Blossom.
If he isn't spotted out, this could be a good opportunity.
But now he is unspotted, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
When we start shooting shotguns, here he is.
Yeah, there he is. Drops over the side. But the Bionic Grenade was fantastic.
And he was also eaten by the D.Va as well.
Oh, God. Just not exactly what you want, but it's fantastic reactions from X6 that we need to be focusing on. Taimu is dealt with, but EnVyUs still fighting. Good reflect from Godsby keeps him alive. After that, Dragon Blade did a fair bit for X6, but EnVyUs was still winning that battle quite nicely as they're pushing this one so close to the second point.
It looks like they're going to claim it, though. They've got a good numbers advantage here, but the respawns, because of the position, are starting to come in. Choyobin has been majestic at holding cards, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Speaking of another D.Va as well, Mickey on this attack is looking brilliant on top of this card. Throws down the self-destruct there as well. X6 losing people left, right, and center, and there it is.
Still contesting it.
Not quite there. Okay, No Smite dealt with, and then we make it to the second point. 1.5 minutes to get this all the way forward. Remember, it was in overtime for X6 as well. This is certainly down to the wire.
I saw you gasping for breath. It must be now, but someone else pops in to contest at the last second. Taimu looking for a Tracer. It's very advanced on the pot. We'll just back away. The health pack was hacked, so he'll just get some EMP percentage for Chips.
Yeah, thank goodness. This Taimu, he's going to be dealt with. That's 2 picks for X6, as that's a lot of the damage now gone.
Taimu needed to be pushed up, though, to actually farm up Death Blossom again, so him dying right there isn't the biggest deal. I realize he's probably going to take another push. He didn't overcommit to the push either.
Would you say it was an eco push, Pops, maybe?
Not really, because you're so late in that no one's really in the mindset of farm for ultimates, and Taimu decides he's had enough of the Reaper, going back onto his trusty Soldier. It's most played this season.
Yep.
Big ult economy advantage for EnVyUs, but doesn't always matter. You invoked Mighty before.
Well, Pulse Bomb not going to find the stick onto Taimu from Timeboy. It's away from a D.Va, nothing to be eaten, but you still need to hit it as EnVyUs.
This is the push. It has to be now.
Exactly, because we're heading into overtime once again. And that's going to be EnVyUs picking up a bunch of kills. They didn't even need to use a heck of a lot of ultimates as well for this one. This is a huge deal. Primal Rage there, which can be so useful on this final push-in.
Baby needs to farm up the ultimate. Transcendence could be the real tool to allow some delays for X6's chips. He wants to just deal with the Zenyatta.
Oh, he hops his way back, actually faking out on that EMP. Wanted to stop it, wanted to make him use an early one as the Transcendence does come down. There is still an EMP available. Taimu is taken, and Harryhook's dead as well. EnVyUs, they're losing all of their team members. Double kill out from Choyoben from X6, and this may have actually won them the set as the overtime ticks down in X6. The underdogs take down EnVyUs after 2 clean sweeps in a row against previous opponents. This is the team that we wanted to see coming out of Challenger.
We wondered when X6 would show their true selves. It wasn't in the promotion tournament. It didn't appear to be in the regular groups either, but finally here, they step up and they are so elated. You could hear Taimu ringing through their heads. They talked about, hey, sit in your spots, we'll come and find you after. And we thought that was just acting tough. Was it just a Korean interview where they aren't really being honest? Well, guess what? They've managed to claim a very unlikely victory. Not many people would have tipped X6 picking up the match win here, but they had so many different strategies that clearly they didn't want to show earlier. They waited for their spot, they bided their time, and their time was now.
Yeah. And No Smart, you saw the camera stayed with him for quite some time there. That is because that Junkrat on Dorado was easily the highlight for me, Papa Smithy. Really, you throw a wrench that far into someone's plans, you can honestly tilt them for the rest of the series.
But you know what the best part is, Atlas? This was just a winner's match, remember. We still will have EnVyUs fighting for the losers bracket. Afreeca Blue, the undefeated team, may actually be facing X6 Gaming in the winners final. And guess what? We might get a rematch between these two teams that went 5 games, multiple overtimes, and a damn tiebreaker even after the rules came in and the changes came in to dissuade tiebreakers from happening. Here are the embraces. Clearly no hard feelings. But on the day, you couldn't really separate the two. Felt like King's Row, a 51-49, but the 51 was X6.
Yeah, and this is not like EnVyUs not performing to the level that we were expecting necessarily. This was X6 really stepping up and showing that they deserved the hype that they had moving into Season 3 and earning their spot into Apex. Taimu getting the double respect as they go in and out as well. Big hugs. Obviously no hard feelings. Like you said, Papa Smithy.
Feels like X6 are 1 match victory away. If they can win the winners bracket final, people will start hearkening them to RunAway in Season 2 because they did come through challenge.